Week 3 NBA season is winding down, and that means we are getting ever closer to the NBA draft later this month in Brooklyn. And the presumptive top pick, Victor Wembanyama, is still playing ball in France. For a preview of what's on tonight's Instant Replay, let's check in with Larry Ramirez.
And Spurs fans, I think, are getting more excited every single day as we approach the NBA draft. So life is very busy for one Victor Wembanyama. He's about to play in the French Pro A Finals, then not long after that, take part in the NBA draft coming up tonight on Instant Replay.
Wemby. Step back three over the 7-3. Ball is good. Yeah.
It's good to see him keep taking it. You know, he's got to have that confidence. Yeah, and there he is again.
And gets a dunk.
French phenom Victor Wembanyama was taking care of business on both ends of the court to help the Metropolitans 92 beat Tony Parker's Oswell, advancing to the French Pro A Finals. Wemby highlights from today's Game 4 are on the way.
Sucks. It sucks. It feels like 2 points lost big time. But yeah, that's kind of the nature of the game.
San Antonio FC led San Diego Loyal SC 3-0 after just 16 minutes, and they appeared to be on their way to earning 3 points, but they lost their leading scorer and played the final 70 minutes a man down, and that allowed San Diego to fight back for a 3-3 draw. And as you heard, Jordan Farr was not pleased.
It'll be the right-hander on the mound this afternoon for the Seattle Mariners. Bryce Miller, Texas A&M kid.
The Rangers-Mariners game featured 2 San Antonio area baseball players and Seattle pitcher Bryce Miller and Texas third baseman Josh Young. All 9 Texas hitters in the starting lineup had at least 1 hit to help the Rangers sweep the Mariners right out of Arlington. And Miller, well, he had a rough outing. Plus, we've also got the Astros, the San Antonio Gunslingers, New Braunfels Canyon Softball, and Bernie Champion Baseball. That and much more tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay.
A little bit of everything packed into that half hour.
As usual.
All right, Larry, we'll look forward to it. Thank you, sir. Still to come in our next half hour, robots are looking and acting more like humans. What engineers are now equipping robots with to make them even more like you and me.
And a man has an extreme and violent reaction to someone backing up in his driveway. What he did that has him in trouble with the law.
Happening across America, it was another violent weekend in Chicago where police say a woman was killed in a mass shooting on the city's west side. Chicago PD says 6 other people were also wounded. According to police, it all started when a large group gathered to celebrate the life of a man who was killed in a crash 4 years ago. They say that's when an argument broke out and multiple people pulled out guns and opened fire. Authorities say all of the wounded victims were hospitalized.
In Iowa, 2 men now unaccounted for following last week's partial building collapse. This after the body of a 3rd missing man was found yesterday. The victim is identified as Brandon Colvin Sr. His body was recovered on the same day as his son graduated from high school. The cause of the partial collapse remains under investigation, but days before the building came crashing down, inspectors did notice a brick facade had separated from the interior wall that it appeared ready to fall.
A scuba diver makes an unexpected find at a lake in Oklahoma. It was a live grenade. Authorities in Love County say the diver found a live CS or tear gas grenade canister in Lake Murray. The diver reported it, and the Oklahoma Highway Patrol Bomb Squad was called out to the lake to check it out. They were able to date the grenade to somewhere around the early 2000s. Their team says the grenade will now be detonated and destroyed at a safe location. Caught on camera. Check it out. Police in Florida say a car caught on fire in a mall parking lot, and inside at the time were 2 children. Their mother was reportedly inside the mall shoplifting. Police say she saw that her car was on fire and she started to leave the store. Other shoppers jumped in to rescue the kids. The children taken to the hospital. One had suffered several first-degree burns. The cause of the fire unknown right now. The mother was arrested for outstanding warrants in other counties unrelated to that incident, but she is also now facing aggravated child abuse and arson charges.
Palm Coast, Florida police say that's the way a man responded when an SUV briefly backed into his driveway. He charged out of his house to confront the driver, who ended up parking across the street. Things escalated when the female passenger walked onto the street toward the man's property. Police say surveillance video shows she did not step onto the property, but the man pulled a gun out of his pocket and pointed it at her head. Investigators say the man told police he was upset because he thought the vehicle belonged to a neighbor that he had trouble with. He was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Get to the latest now on an international incident. A Chinese warship nearly collided with the U.S. destroyer in the Taiwan Strait. The encounter captured on video.
It's one of 3 high-profile incidents adding to the mounting tensions between the U.S. and China. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has more on how President Joe Biden's administration is working to keep both sides calm.
The near collision between American and Chinese warships caught on camera by Global News, a Canadian television network traveling on board a Canadian ship taking part in a joint mission with the U.S. in the waters separating China and Taiwan. The U.S. Indo-Pacific Command confirming that the Chinese naval ship came within 150 yards of the USS Changhoon, picking up considerable speed before cutting across its bow and forcing the American ship to slow. U.S. officials accusing the Chinese ship of acting in an unsafe manner and violating the maritime rules of the road of safe passage in international waters. The chair of the House Intelligence Committee is calling it unbelievable aggression by China.
They're trying to flex their muscles and advance authoritarianism.
Tensions are on the rise between the U.S. and China. Late last month, a Chinese fighter jet came within 400 feet of a U.S. reconnaissance plane over the South China Sea. And earlier this year, the U.S. shot down a Chinese spy balloon that flew over the U.S. The Biden administration is looking for a diplomatic fix to the souring relations, sending a senior State Department official on a rare visit to Beijing. But some say the U.S. needs to take a firmer stance.
But I think the administration needs to step up and make clear that China has identified itself as an adversary, and we're going to treat it as such.
At the time of the incident with the warships, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was at an international security conference of defense ministers, including from China and Canada.
Our shared goals are clear: to deter aggression and to deepen the rules and norms that promote prosperity and prevent conflict.
But China's defense minister has called the U.S. ship's presence a provocation, accusing the U.S. of trying to destabilize China. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Back here at home, let's go back outside with live cam as we continue to quiet things down tonight after what was a noisy afternoon for parts of south central Texas. Temperatures right now here in San Antonio near about 70 degrees. Now, while we did see a few showers and storms push across Bexar County, thankfully we didn't have any severe warnings issued for San Antonio. But still, the rain was nice, even though it probably did send a few of us inside from some of those Sunday afternoon plans. But also, look what it did to our temperatures. We only topped off at 83 degrees officially this afternoon, which is 8 degrees below the average of 91. We started off pretty seasonable, near about 70 earlier this morning. Take a look at our temperature trend as we head into the upcoming work week. Still below average over the next couple of days because of some lingering rain chances, but then those come down and temperatures crank back up. So we'll have another full look at the week ahead coming up here in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Mia. See you shortly. A new study revealing the critical choice first responders face when it comes to transporting patients in rural areas. How the study results could impact future medical transports.
There are certainly benefits to living outside of the city limits, but when it comes for time and matters of emergency, how far out of town can be too far? Well, living in rural Texas may have some deadly consequences.
Yeah, a new study on the topic outlines how living in rural Texas could have deadly consequences. And the night team's Ursula Perry outlines how the study may change how emergency crews react when the clock is ticking.
A car crash, a bike accident, a sports collision. These are all serious injuries that may need specialized medical attention. For emergency medical crews in rural areas, that can be a tough call.
One is to drive them to their local community hospital that's not a trauma center. The other is to call for a medical helicopter to transport them to the trauma centers.
Brown and his colleagues studied the outcomes of 37,000 severely injured patients transported to ERs by helicopter or ambulance. The research shows stopping first at the local hospitals endangered some patients since trauma surgeons in the city lost valuable time.
In trauma, we always talk about this golden hour from the time of injury to getting to the trauma center. The patients brought directly to the trauma center had almost a twofold increase in their survival as a result of getting to that trauma center earlier.
These outcomes encourage that medical crews in rural areas go ahead and call for a helicopter. particularly if patients have abnormal vital signs, an altered mental state, spinal cord injuries, or severe chest trauma with a possible collapsed lung.
Being able to give them this set of criteria can really help them make a huge difference in the patient's outcome.
Countrywide, about 25% of us live in rural areas, but the number is higher in Texas. So the information coming out of the study is very important to get to the right people. Dr. Brown is working with the American College of Surgeons right now to make sure there are new guidelines with this information in mind for paramedics across the country. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
Coming up, interacting with robots that look and act like real people is getting closer and closer. Engineers reveal how close next. Let's head out to Hollywood, where the writers' strike is still ongoing, but it looks like directors may have a deal with major film studios. A historic but tentative agreement now in place between the Directors Guild of America. That pact was reached to set terms of a new 3-year collective bargaining agreement with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. That deal reached Saturday night and affects wages, work hours, residuals, and even artificial intelligence. The tentative agreement will be submitted to the Guild's National Board at a special meeting on Tuesday. Technology like ChatGPT has been integrated into many places and for the most part is available to those who want to use it. That technology is also now helping engineers build humanoid robots that are next level.
All right, take a look at this. This is Amica, a non-creepy, just kidding, humanoid robot that has been equipped with fine-tuned language models. That means you can ask Amica questions and it will respond like a human. Combined with her world-leading animatronics, it's possibly the closest humans can get to having a conversation with a real-life robot.
Should people be worried about AI?
Yes, people should be aware of the potential risks associated with AI and robotics.
Coming from the robot herself. Amica was on exhibit along with other robots and technologies at the International Conference on Robotics and Automation in London. Isn't it bad if the robot is telling us to not make the robots?
You should trust the robots.
Gosh. Well, you know who we can trust is Mia. She's been working very, very hard this week on all of these storms. So good job keeping us informed.
No artificial intelligence, all real.
Very true. Yeah, it's been an active weekend across South Central Texas with the multiple rounds of rain and thunderstorms that we've had move through at least parts of the area. Now, we're not finished with the rain chances, though. It's not going to be for everybody over the next couple of days, but they're still in the forecast before we start to dry things out and warm things right back up as we head into the second half of the week. So here are the big headlines over the next several days here in San Antonio. Yes, daily chances for rain continue for some. Isolated to widely scattered, with the widely scattered rain chance moving in tomorrow afternoon. Early this week through about Wednesday, still below average temperatures, mid to upper 80s because of those rain chances that continue. But then later this week, as high pressure takes back over, we see those rain chances come down. Temperatures warm right back up, closer to where we should be for this time of year. Our average high is 91. I think we'll be able to see those thermometers climb back into the low 90s, especially as we get ready to head into next weekend. But yes, after a noisy afternoon in San Antonio, west of San Antonio, even south of San Antonio, we are much quieter out there on the radar right now. Still monitoring these few little showers moving through Gillespie County. Near Fredericksburg, that's tracking farther up to the southeast. So sure, maybe a quick splash of rain possible for northern Kendall County over the next couple of hours. And we'll keep that isolated rain chance in the forecast for a few more stray showers before the sun comes up tomorrow morning. Here's your day part forecast for your Monday. Again, the best chance of finding some widely separated rain and storms. That moves in the mid to late afternoon hours and even into the early evening. Temperature-wise, we'll start off near about 67 degrees. Daytime highs headed for the mid to upper 80s in and around the San Antonio area. Here's the big picture. Across the Lone Star State, a couple different complexes of storms getting going. One out in far east Texas, another complex just to the north of Abilene, and then even another one out in far western Texas, closing in on the Permian Basin area. As we take a look farther off to our southwest, though, we've got high pressure in place. And what that's going to do over the next few days is start to work its way farther to the east. But by Tuesday and into Wednesday, we still have low pressure off to our east. So we're kind of sandwiched in between the two, which means northwest flow is still in the forecast for us, which means we could see a few complexes form to our north, and we'll have to monitor to see if they can survive the journey into parts of our region, which is why some of those rain chances continue through at least the middle of the week. But then watch what happens as we head into Thursday and especially Friday. That high pressure system is going to start to move into our area, which is why those rain chances will come down and those temperatures are going to crank back up. So we'll call it a 40% chance for your Monday afternoon, 30% chance Tuesday and into Wednesday, then knocking that down to just a 20% potential as we head into the second half of the week and into next weekend. All right, temperature wise, 71 degrees right now. Winds out of the northwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. 74 in Canyon Lake, 71 in Converse this hour, 72 at Stinson, 70 in Devine. Currently 66 though for places like Rio Medina and stretching up to Bandera. Tomorrow we'll start off in the 60s for some, and then as we head into the afternoon hours, temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, below average through midweek, and then those temperatures start to climb right back up into the low 90s. And I'm a firm believer that we can't have too many beautiful sunset photos.
Absolutely not.
So here is another one before you head to bed.
So beautiful.
Very nice.
That looks like waves almost.
I'd share that on my work Instagram if I knew how to get to it.
Yeah, I keep
Courtney tells me
tagging.
I have one.
I keep tagging Tim in things, and he's not even looking.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Despite being fast-paced and action-packed, Fast X wasn't able to keep its second-place spot from last weekend. Which movie scared it out of place? We'll show you coming up after the break.
Insta what?
Insta what?
I have something to talk to you about.
Fast X downshifted all the way from second place to fifth with $9.2 million, while Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 landed in fourth with $10.2 million.
They called it the Boogeyman.
Horror yarn The Boogeyman bowed in third place on ticket sales of $12.3 million, and The Little Mermaid slipped to second with $40.6 million, bringing its two-week domestic total to $186.2 million.
Want to get out of here?
The animated adventure Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse easily won the weekend with $120.5 million. Variety says those numbers make Spider-Verse the second biggest opening of the year after the Super Mario Bros. Movie. For comparison, 2018's Into the Spider-Verse opened with $35.4 million and went on to win the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
The NBA Finals between the Heat and Nuggets now tied all up at 1-1. We are now guaranteed Game 5 as Miami steals home court advantage from the Nuggets.
And Victor Wembanyama garners a lot of hype for his offense, but today he showcased his defense in a semifinal win. For more Once on Instant Replay, let's check in with Larry. I told you I could say it.
I knew you could say it.
I told you.
Wembanyama.
She was practicing a lot.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, not
in
a
all
lot.
fairness, you said I did spell it incorrectly last week.
Okay, you changed it. It was all me. I take full responsibility.
It had to be a bittersweet day for Osville owner Tony Parker. Wemby knocked his team out of the playoffs, and then Wemby will likely head to Tony's former team, the San Antonio Spurs, coming up tonight on Instant Replay.
To get the offensive rebound, but Wembanyama blocks the shot.
That was one of 5 block shots for Victor Wembanyama today in the French LMB Pro A semis. He has elite rim protection, has played both ends of the court, helped his Metropolitans 92 secure a place in the finals. Wemby tweeted, "Finals, baby, so proud of my guys. Job ain't done, though."
2-2. Swing and a miss! For the first time ever, the Chargers of Bernie Champion are headed to Dale Diamond.
How about that? The Bernie Champion baseball team is heading to state for the first time in program history. With their backs against the wall in the regional final, the Chargers won 2 straight elimination games. Andrew Seeley is here with the champion Chargers and the Canyon Cougarettes softball team. Plus, we've got the French Open, Astros, Rangers, and we go one-on-one with San Antonio Mission's first baseman, Pedro Castellanos. Coming up right after the Nightbeat, Wembanyama.
All right, continue warming up. We'll be ready for you in just a little bit.
You got it.
Thanks, Larry.
We'll be right back.